Hi everyone, thanks for tuning back in. I appreciate you guys returning back to my channel. I wanted to create a video on kind of my update on living in Caldas and what my thoughts are. I've had some people reach out to me asking to make this video, so I hope you guys enjoy. Anyway, we've been here now going on 4 months. So we came here at the end of June and now it's the end of October. And I will say it has been kind of a roller coaster of a transition period here, just because, as you've seen in my past videos, we were traveling kind of all over Portugal, just making sure that Caldas was the right place, even though we already had our kids enrolled and we had an Airbnb and all that stuff. We just wanted to make sure that we saw ourselves here long term because we had only visited one time. And initially when we first arrived here, we loved it. It reminded us of that one day that we spent here that made us fall in love with the city. But we were kind of taken back with the weather. And I think you probably saw my previous video where I had mentioned, and this was the end of June, right? So I mentioned that it was cooler, which it was. I think it was like in the high 60s, low 70s. And I was finding myself wearing a jacket. Back in the States, I was coming from like 80, 85 degree weather, now back to like high 60s, 70s. So I was like, oh my gosh, is this how the summer is gonna be? Because I've always read on the forums that people said the weather here is more mild, which, you know, everyone's interpretation of weather is so different. Like even when I tell you guys, it's gonna be different than how you guys are gonna enjoy it here. So I came here, I'm like, okay, if this is how it's gonna be, I'm gonna have to wear long sleeve shirts and a jacket. Is that how we want our summers to be? Is this a climate that we feel comfortable living in? And my husband, coming from France in the northern region, he knew he needed sunlight. Like that was a must because where he comes from, it rains a lot more than the sun comes out, let's just say. So back in the States, and I guess I always took this for granted, it was always sunny. Like even when it was raining, it would rain for maybe like hard rain for like 10 or 15 minutes. And then the sun would come out and all was well. Well, we were getting a little concerned. So then we went down to Lagos and my husband fell in love with Lagos. I liked it, but I just didn't, how do I explain it? Like I liked the climate, I liked the area, but I just didn't see, I just felt like it was a lot more tourist than local residents. And that was something that I knew I needed in my life and for the kids. We plan on being in Portugal for a long time. And I want my kids to be friends with residents, be friends with people that are going to plan on being there long term, than just make friends with tourists who will be there, you know, for the summer and then leave and then come back the next year. I just didn't want that. I wanted to be in a settled area. So we decided there's no more scouting. We already set our eyes on Caldas, and then we're going to continue living in Caldas. After we traveled all throughout the Algarve and Lisbon and all that stuff, we really settled down here in August, I would say, because June, July, we were kind of traveling, vacationing. So August came and we were finally in the midst of moving out of our Airbnb to our long-term rental, which made such a difference. Going from a 2-bedroom apartment to a 3-bedroom townhouse, giving the kids a space really is necessary when you have 3 kids. So it really did change our whole perspective on this whole area, just because, you know, the kids can play and be loud and just be kids, whereas in the apartment, you don't want to disturb your neighbors and you don't want to be that family that just keeps everyone up or creates the chaos in the building. So I always felt bad in that. Now being here, like the weather has taken a complete change. Like I will say the weather started becoming really nice at the end of July. And as I started talking to locals, they had mentioned that summers here, well, particularly this summer, was weird. Like it was colder than usual, but typically in this area, summers start later. So it usually starts like July-ish and then goes until October, November. And I will say, like, today is October 19th and it's like 80 degrees outside. So it's really nice and reassuring that it does get really warm. And I am wearing shorts and I'm wearing a dress. So I actually found myself loving the weather here more than the Algarve, just because in my previous videos you might have seen when you're out in that sunlight, like direct sun, it's really hot. I found myself getting really tan in just a matter of a couple minutes out in the sun. So I am grateful for the sunlight, but I'm also grateful that there are days where there's an overcast just to kind of give you a break from the sun. So I particularly love it now. And my husband has come around and he loves it as well, because with the cooler weather, and me saying cooler, like in the 70s is cooler weather here, it just gives you more opportunity to enjoy the great outdoors. If it's too hot, like back in the States where we're from, you don't go outside as much, or at least for us, because it's just too hot and too humid. And here, even though they say it's humid, it's a different type of humidity. You don't feel like it's humid at all outside, even though it says it's humid. So we also love the fact that this area, you can drive around to so many different places. Like we went to Nazaré, and this is like on a day trip, right? Because Nazaré is 45 minutes. We went to have dinner in Nazaré, we went to Alcobaça, we went to Rio Maior, we went to Torres Vedras, we went to Óbidos, Foz do Areia. All of these areas are within half an hour to 45-minute drive, if not 10 minutes, like Foz do Areia was like 10 minutes. Then we went to Porto this past weekend, which was a 2-hour drive more or less. We did stay overnight. But it's nice to be able to just say, oh, hey, this weekend, let's go up to Porto for the night and enjoy the, things to do there. And Lisbon's only an hour away, so we'll do day trips to Lisbon too. Another thing that we love here are the locals. For instance, there are a few different cafes here that we love going to. And I would bring my daughter, Chloe, with me. And so the waitress got to know Chloe. So the other day, my husband and I went there without Chloe because she's in school now. And, the waitress is like, how's Chloe? And I'm like, I'm good too, hi. It's just so cute that the locals remember your children's names. And I've never had that situation happen back in the States. So it's super sweet to see how people actually care about you and your kids. And the same thing goes to show for I support a local farmer here, and when I see her, obviously she knows what I like, and so I have been on the hunt for chilies. And I did find the Chili Experience, which is an online store, but she grows chilies too, so she gave me a whole bunch of chilies for free, and she's like, oh, this is my gift for you because I know you love chilies. And I'm just thinking, wow, you remember. I'm just so taken back how many people remember the small things that you do or remember you. Same thing for my butcher that's in continent. He knows me and he knows what I like and what cuts of meat I like and everything. He knows how to cut it already without me asking. It's just the little things like that where you can only really get it in small towns. But the great thing is Caldas isn't that small of a town. So you have the abundance of people, yet hospitality of a small town. And that's what I love about this area. The kids have acclimated so well. And obviously that was one of our biggest concerns. It's like, how are the kids gonna like it? Because obviously they're at a critical age where they're either gonna love it or they're gonna hate it, right? And I will say initially when they came here, it was the summertime and it was our first time having to deal with all the kids together in the summer without any, daycare or extra support. And they were getting all cooped up because we were in that 2-bedroom apartment. But now that we're in the townhouse, now that they're going to school, they love it here. I asked my son Charlie, I was like, so do you like it more in Portugal or do you like it back in the States? And he was like, I love Portugal more. The only thing I miss is my cousin back in the States, which I could understand. But here they get to do way more activities. Like my daughter loves surfing, as you can tell from my videos before. She always asks, okay, when are we going surfing? Are we going surfing this weekend? And I'm like, yeah, we bought a package, so you're gonna go surfing. I find that they play outside way more here than back in the States. Like I was mentioning back in the States where it was really hot and humid, the kids would enjoy being outside for maybe 30 minutes max because you know, after 30 minutes, they're sweating and they're irritable because now they have mosquito bites, or they're just uncomfortable, you know, being outside in humidity. Here, even though it's humid, it's not really humid, and the kids are outside all the time. Whether they're outside playing at school, they come home and they ask to go to the playground, so I take them to the playground, they play there for another half an hour, we come home, then we get ready for bed. Well, we have dinner and then get ready for bed. So I just find that the kids gravitate towards playing outside more. And I love that, because that's always something that you want your kids to enjoy, is being outside. And they've made so many friends. It's shocking how many friends that they've made at their school now, which I love, and I'll go into that next. I'll see, you know, my kids like to play at the playground at school, and so they're playing and I'm watching them. And this is after I pick them up. All of a sudden I'll hear, "Bye Lily, bye Charlie," like kids coming past us and just always saying, "Hi Lily, oh I'll see you tomorrow." And I'm like, wow, you know, I don't think I've ever seen my kids be so outgoing back in the States as they are here. And that's so nice to see, because you can see their eyes light up when they see their friends. And honestly, since they're outside so much and you know, they don't really have that much time, they're never really on their iPad. Like now we implemented an earn iPad time where they have to do certain things to earn iPad time, like reading or writing or cleaning up. They'll earn iPad time. So realistically, they only get maybe 20 minutes a week of iPad time. So I still want them to go on the iPad because it's something fun for them to do, but at least it's reduced it down quite a bit. And then another thing that people are always concerned about is making friends. And I don't blame them. I was the same way. I'm like, okay, I'm going to a new area. How am I gonna make friends? You know, back in the States, I worked so much, so I only had a very limited amount of friends that I would meet or hang out with. And here, it's a little bit different, where you don't have school to meet new people. You don't have friends of friends to meet new people. You are literally trying to meet new people just by talking to people. I will say it's been so crazy how easy it has been meeting new people here. And I kind of think of it as like the first day of school where everyone's trying to make friends. Some people have mentioned how hard or easy is it to make friends living in Portugal. And don't get me wrong, I was in the same boat. I didn't know, you know, how hard or easy it will be to make a friend here. Back in the States, I worked a lot. So it was a little bit harder for me to make friends, well, new friends, just because when you're working all day and you have kids, you're very limited on time. And so you only had your core group of friends that you would hang out with. Here, it's a little bit different because right now I'm not really working. So I have a little bit more of an opportunity to meet new people. And luckily, there's so many families that live here that you can meet. It's been actually easier making friends here than back in the States. You're meeting all these people from all different backgrounds, and you guys have a common interest where you found Portugal, you fell in love with Portugal, and you moved to Portugal. And from that, it's so easy to make a friendship just because you guys already have a common interest. I knew the problems that people have with making friends, and I know how difficult it is kind of getting out of your shell a little bit, especially if you're an introvert like me. And believe me, I am an introvert. I wanted to create an online group for parents that live on the Silver Coast. So I created a group and I tried to host activities just to kind of get to know and meet more people. Maybe partially for myself, but I wanted to kind of connect families that live here, because so many times people just don't know where to start. People just don't know how to meet new other people. So I wanted to get them all together so that they can form new friendships. So yeah, I mean, overall, I love being here, and I'm so glad that we ended up staying here long term, because I can't imagine seeing myself anywhere else. And every city that I've gone to, other than Aveiro was super gorgeous. But other cities I've visited so far, it just makes me realize how special Caldas is for us, and I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I know it was super long, and I know I probably went on a million tangents, as I always do, and I hope you guys enjoy that as much as I do. But I hope you guys enjoy that video, and if you want me to make a specific video please let me know, leave a comment, or you can message me. I am going to make an updated cost of living video next, just because I know my first one, it was just based upon our first month of living here, and it wasn't as realistic as it is probably going to be now. So I will be filming that in the next couple of days, and hopefully we'll have that out to you as soon as possible. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you the next time. Bye!